Hello, Jen here, and I have a layout for you for the Love of Crafting and Sharing YouTube collaboration. This month we are sharing our love of florals, and you can see I have a ton of floral paper out. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this layout. I just knew, obviously, I wanted to have tons and tons of flowers, but I use florals quite a bit, and so I was trying to think of a way that I could maybe do something different, something that I've never done before to just play around with my florals a little more. So the first thing I thought of doing was picking florals from a whole bunch of different collections and different manufacturers. So here, these two are Simple Stories. I think one might be I Am and one might be Bliss, or they could both be Bliss. This one I think is from My Mind's Eye. It actually doesn't say on the manufacturer strip, but I think it's from a pack that I got at Winners, and sometimes those packs are like blooper packs, so that could be why it was part of that pack if it didn't have the manufacturer's information on it, but I think it's My Mind's Eye. This one here is from Pink Fresh Studio. I think it's the Let Your Heart Decide collection. Yeah, I think I saw the word heart down there on the manufacturer's strip. And then there's also a paper coming up from October Afternoon, this one here. I love that paper. It's very pretty. It has that really pretty kind of aqua color, and then it has kind of creams and yellows to it. Very pretty. I think it's the Girl Talk collection that one is from. And this one is this absolutely stunning floral from Authentique. And I think it's so pretty. And doesn't that look kind of cool? Like, they all have their own feel. They're all florals, so I feel like they go together just by the fact that they're flowers. And I think sometimes when we do floral layouts, something that really features flowers quite heavily, we don't necessarily have to have everything super matching, because everybody's garden is unique and wildflowers never match. They all look beautiful together, but they all have different shapes and sizes and colors and feels to them and stuff like that. So I really kind of wanted to play around with that. And then there you saw me kind of placing those photos all over. And what I decided to do was make my pictures kind of like flowers. And in 2018, I started doing this kind of Snapchatty thing. I think we all were, when my kids were super obsessed with looking at themselves in filters. I was trying to take one photo of myself every day, and then that way I just had a whole bunch of photos that I could use whenever I wanted to scrap something that maybe didn't necessarily have a specific photo to go with it. It wasn't a story about a photo. So in this case, what I'm going to journal doesn't really relate to the photos themselves, but you still want to have some sort of photo to go with it. So I thought it was really fun to do that. So I think I did pretty good. I think I got most days in 2018 and maybe a little less in 2019, but I still tried to do it as often as I could. The kids they don't have that much interest in it anymore. Kaylin just kind of uses it to chat with friends, but the boys aren't super obsessed with looking at themselves through the filters, and my nieces and nephew don't need to Snapchat with Auntie anymore. So I haven't done it that much in 2020. Actually, I haven't been on it in a while. I bet there's lots of filters for like COVID and staying inside and quarantine and stuff. I don't know. But it is kind of fun just to have those pictures. And plus, it's pictures of myself. So I know I don't necessarily look like this. These all have some sort of fun filter on it. But it is kind of nice just to have those pictures of yourself that you can go ahead and scrap and play with. And if you don't like taking pictures of yourself, Snapchat might be a good way for you to just kind of get the ball rolling and get comfortable taking selfies or looking at yourself in a picture. And yeah, they're fun. I think they're cute. So I normally scrap them as the full 4x6. You can see I usually get 6 of them onto one 4x6 sheet, and I keep them together most of the time. So I thought that this was kind of a fun way to do something a little bit different for me. So this whole layout is totally different for me. But I liked the idea of kind of cutting them apart, and then they become little flowers in my garden. And they're the perfect size, these little 2x2 squares. But I did want them to stand out a little bit. So with the paper, I tore them and made these little layers of kind of my garden, I guess you could say. And then I just wanted these photos to kind of have a little bit of extra weight to them, so I'm backing them with some more of that paper. So some of them are getting 2 layers, and some of them are only getting 1 layer. So they all look a little bit different, and they all just kind of stand out a little bit differently in the layout. And that yellow is just the back of the flowers, the authentic flower paper. I just thought that bolder yellow worked really good. So that's the only one where I didn't use the front of the paper. And then to kind of, again, give that illusion of a garden, I'm going to pop them all up at different heights. So 2 of them are flat. 2 of them will have just 1 layer of foam. 2 of them will have 2 layers of foam, which you saw me right there. I just kind of take the foam and fold the strip in half, and then I get my 2 layers, and then 2 of them will get foam squares, which is the highest or the thickest foam that I have anyways. And so that kind of gives that extra dimension that I wanted to, again, create that look of a garden. And I don't know, maybe it's like a rolling hills garden, but this definitely looks like a garden you would find at my house because I'm kind of a plant whatever catches my eye kind of person. I don't necessarily pick flowers that all match. I don't have a theme to my garden every year. I just whatever looks pretty and whatever I know will grow, because I don't get a ton of sun in our front where we have our larger garden. We get hardly any sun at all, so I'm constantly looking for flowers that will grow in shade and not just like hostas and stuff, but actual pretty flowering plants. So my garden's pretty haphazard, which this definitely fits the personality. And then once all my pictures were down, I just pulled out a ton of flower die cuts. So there's die cuts from all over the place in there. There are some Maggie Holmes, there are some One Canoe 2, Wild Whisper, Cocoa Vanilla. Those leatherette stickers that you saw me putting down are from Pink Fresh Studio. I just kind of go for it. Oh, I'm adding stems here too. I thought it would be fun if each of the pictures kind of had a stem to really drive home that idea that they are flowers growing in the garden. So this is just a piece of 6x6 paper that came in a Scrapbooking Cards Today sampler, and on the back it's got little teacups on the front, and on the back it has strips of white and this kind of nice green. So it's a green that you don't see anywhere else in the layout, so I thought that was a good green to kind of use for my stems. And I just cut them apart and kind of eyeballed it and stuck the little stems in there. And now I just take my flowers and kind of stick them around wherever I felt like they kind of fit in. I'm tucking them behind the pictures, in front of the pictures, tucking them into the little layers of the flower paper. I even have these flare. Those come from Wild Whisper. I just really wanted lots of different kind of textures and looks. Again, that kind of is what I was going for, is this really kind of organic, wild garden. And so to really drive home the fact that all of my papers are different in style, I wanted to have lots of different styles of die cuts too, and textures and all of that. And so here I'm adding some flowers. This is a sticker sheet from Pebbles, and the sticker sheet is a little bit more glossy, so it kind of adds a different look to the flowers. And then just again, it's a different manufacturer, so they're a different design, different color palette. And I wanted some green leaves because that's the one thing I was missing, was some leaves on some of my stems. So then I was trying to think of something that I could use that could really give your eye a little bit of a break and kind of help it move around the layout, because there's just so much going on. It's super busy, and because everything comes from different manufacturers and different colors and different feels to them, it does kind of look really busy, and your eye doesn't really know where to go. And so I pulled out my Small Talk Tim Holtz little stickers, and I thought they're clean, they're white, the type is really clean, and so I decided to put one with each of the pictures, and that's kind of that little pause that your eye can take around the layout to look at each of the pictures and take the time to read. So I put things like "You are enough," "Never give up," "Start doing things you love," "Own your dreams," "Live your dream with passion," "Choose to see the good," "Embrace the journey," "Have an open heart," and the one down in the very front says "Embrace beautiful chaos," which I kind of think this layout is like beautiful chaos. And then that kind of led me into my title and my journaling. So I had that little die cut that said "Bloom and Grow," and I thought that would be really fun to use as a title, but it was too small and it definitely got lost in the layout, even though it was kind of the darkest element there. So I pulled out these foam thickers from Dear Lizzie and just put "Bloom and Grow," and it's so much bigger and kind of takes up that space down in the bottom, and now your eye can really see that. And that kind of helped with my journaling too. I kind of talked about how when you plant good thoughts and take care of yourself and stay positive, then those good thoughts and good intentions kind of bloom and grow and blossom and help you to become who you are. So that is what my journaling is about. And then you saw me there also scatter some sequins and some of those little round flat-backed cabochons from BB Craft. They kind of have flowers in them too, so I thought they were really pretty. And they add a little bit of shimmer and shine and just, again, a different texture. And that is it. That's my layout. This one is super different for me, but I absolutely love how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. The links for everybody else who is sharing some love of florals are down below in the description box, so please go and check them out and say hi. And until next time, happy scrapping. Stay safe. Bye.